Okay, we're back on live. Sorry about that, everyone. I meant to unmute and hit in broadcast instead. So we can get right
By
back to it.
everyone, you mean basically no one or one person maybe?
We had 3 viewers when I did that, so
How many of them were us?
I have no idea. Well, I wasn't one of them, so
I'm watching the Hangout separately on my phone.
bastard.
So we have 2 people watching us then.
Sorry, it's a start.
Mike, this is your first time hanging out with us. Do you want to introduce yourself quickly and give us a quick intro?
Sure. I'm Mike McElroy. I live in upstate New York. I'm a technical writer, and I love crazy conspiracy theories and stuff like that. It's really right up my
Man, are
alley.
you in the right place?
Yeah.
I
Remember,
jumped on this.
We're live, we're not editing, so if you fuck something up, just keep rolling with it.
I'm always perfect, so no worries there.
Good deal. And foul language is encouraged, at least by me. So.
Fucking A. Okay.
Lauren can't cuss, he has to keep up that whole friendly Canadian thing.
Well, it's I have to limit my time in confession tomorrow because I have a busy day, so I'm not going to be swearing a whole lot this Hangout.
If he does, he'll just apologize. So.
Damn it, I'm sorry about that, everyone.
Sorry.
There should be a Hangout toolbox icon there for apologies, so faster. I'm not a typical Canadian, so you're not going to get no fucking apologies from me, okay?
Lovely.
So, Mike, I think we've all run through our favorite little piece of the conspiracy theory from 9/11. Do you have a piece that's your favorite?
I think my favorite is the whole loose change thing. Everything that spun out from that. The idea that there were no bodies found in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and they like take a little quote from the coroner out of context where it looks like he's saying no bodies were found, when really all that happened was there's no whole bodies found. There were parts of bodies, things like that. And loose change was just amazing. It's kind of a poster child for what a fake documentary can be, and just how you can spin a story, whatever kind of story you want, if you're willing to creatively edit videos and text and stuff like that.
Yeah, Loose Change, is that a podcast or show or something? Or?
No, it was the Zeitgeist before Zeitgeist. It was within like months of 9/11, or maybe a year or two. I don't know exactly when it first came out. It popped up, and there were these guys going around saying that originally, I think that's where the story about people getting pulled off of a plane and disappearing forever after that came from. And it was just very bizarre. And it built largely on the bad reporting and the bad information that came out in the first few hours after the events. So, it's kind of like as if somebody took the story about the tornadoes that just happened in Oklahoma, where within the first few hours after that, they were saying the death toll was in the 50s, 60s. And then the next day, it's 24. So what their story would be is, well, what happened to those 30 people that they said were dead? That sort of thing.
Harp got him.
Yeah.
Some people just want so badly for this stuff to be true. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know any really ardent conspiracy theorists. I was telling Lauren earlier about a friend of mine who's he has a tendency to, I don't know if believe is the right word, but at least to give credibility to some conspiracy theories. I don't know. I don't personally know anyone that I interact with often who just straight up believes those things. Now, my ex-wife worked with a guy who was really just like the biggest Alex Jones fan I've ever seen, and he loved to complain about chemtrails and other things like that. And I talked to him a few times, but moreover, it just kind of annoyed me. And since I didn't have any interest in being his friend, I didn't make a lot of effort to discuss it with him. I kind of wish I had, because I might have gained some really good perspective.
Alex Jones is a really good example of the cult of personality model. He's really built a business for himself off of just making all sorts of shit up.
I wonder, with the exception of guys like him, like people that, just your average layperson that tends to believe that, I don't think I doubt that the intent is evil there. They, like with 9/11, they see this horrible thing happen, and they're trying to understand it in the way they can and cope with it. Well, I think it's certainly a very misguided way to cope with it. I don't see evil as being the intent. I don't even know, with Loose Change, I don't know that I felt that it was intended to be misinformation or evil. I kind of felt the same way. It's like these guys are trying to deal with what they see as they perceive this really awful thing happening, and a pretty twisted take on how it happened, but I didn't see it as being evil so much. Now, there may come a point, and I don't know where the line is, where you start being presented with reasonable evidence to the contrary, and you just refuse to believe anything except what you had in your head. I don't know if that becomes evil or just silly. I don't know.
So you were just talking about Alex Jones there a minute ago. So I was an Alex Jones virgin until just this week. Never heard of the guy.
I'm sorry, Lauren.
Someone posted something about him in the G Plus Community Inc. zone, and I checked out some YouTube videos, and holy shit, this guy is off the charts.
That's like an uncomfortable deflowering right there.
But he's got the documents.
I thought it
You're
was
all in on it.
a complete parody comedy show, but this guy is serious.
You could see that as like a Saturday Night Live skit almost. If he wasn't so serious, it would just be completely funny.
See, like Jim Carrey, wild-eyed, frazzled hair, shouting into a microphone that's not connected to anything or something.
It's great comedy, though, I gotta say.
It's crazy that he has as many listeners as he does.
Oh yeah.
How many?
Enough to keep him on air for how many years now?
I mean, he's been going since at least 2000, if not before that. So, I remember hearing the recording of his broadcast, because he broadcasts out of Austin, Texas. He used to be on the radio. I don't know if he still is or not, but he had a recording during.
He is keeping Austin weird.
Yes. on Y2K, he did some recording where he was talking about how the United Nations tanks were going to start rolling in and bringing in the New World Order, and that planes were falling out of the sky and banks were shutting down, and all this stuff that was supposed to happen on Y2K but didn't. He was saying it was happening. So.
Yeah, so I don't know about how Y2K was down there for you Americans, but here in Canada, I mean, it was a disaster. All kinds of stuff happened. No, nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Yeah, sky caught fire, cats and dogs sleeping together, all that kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure I was just drunk at the turnover there. So as of 2010, he was estimated to have over 2 million listeners.
Wow. And of course, he's worldwide, broadcast online, and he's got the monthly pay service for the exclusive videos and content. So
he's kind of like coast to coast, but with like 8 times the crazy.
Yeah, he turns it up to 11.
So he started in '96 with a public access TV show. Yeah, he's been going on for a while about this.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he definitely is a 9/11 conspiracy guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's not even going out on a limb. That's a very safe bet right there, buddy.
I'll tell you what I noticed though with Jones is I actually don't think he comes up with his own material. I think he spends more of his time repeating other people's material. Especially like with the 9/11, he's really pretty much tapped the Jason Burmis. He's one of the Loose Change guys, and I guess the network that they have or that he's on. Jason Burmis guy had his own show, and on occasion will do a Alex Jones show, and that's been what I've noticed is a lot of times he'll use other people's writings. Those documents he keeps waving isn't real. It's the stuff that other guys have written, and he's he'll wave it because he's a big fan of like Webster Tarpley. I know he's had G. Edward Griffin, Jason Burmis. He's that seems to be more his his thing. I don't think he's ever come up with his own stuff. He's more or less parroting other guys and just kind of riding along with them.
Could be.
I mean, that's my
Very well
observation.
Yeah.
So now do I actually have someone here just telling me everything to say? Say this next.
I don't know. It's funny. He always says he has the documents that prove it's true, but very seldom do I actually ever see the documents posted somewhere that I can look at them.
Well, you have to pay that monthly fee.
Yeah.
Nothing's free, buddy.
That's the funniest part of the
First
show.
brand's free.
Yeah. The paper rattling is, and I've got some papers here which probably say nothing about anything that I'm talking about, but these papers.
This hard drive contains the software for HARP.
I thought to myself, like, I just love watching him get so upset and start screaming and yelling about things. I'm like, man, this guy, he's just going to have a coronary one day on his radio show.
Oh my gosh.
He's even fatter than I am.
Watch video and be like, wow, look at him getting all wound up.
It's amazing because he really gets fired up too. He's not just shouting; he's gyrating and waving his hands and bouncing in his chair. And great faces, and it's crazy. Talking about how the satanic New World Order is coming and they want to irradiate babies and cook them. And where does this come from?
What? You
Yeah.
Babies?
Oh yeah, he talks about how the New World Order is this satanic organization that is planning to take over the world, and they want to irradiate people's babies and spear them and toss them in a pile, and all that kind of stuff. There's some pretty good stuff out there. If you go out on YouTube, you can probably find videos of like the best of Alex Jones.
I think
10
I read
minutes of
somewhere
him.
that irradiated baby meat makes better stew. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere
Could
on the
be.
internet.
It's page 1 in the baby cookbook. I mean,
Right.
come on.
Tenderizes the meat.
Yeah.
There's a lot less hair that you have to remove for
Right.
the infants.
Exactly.
I guess. I don't know. I've never had a baby, so I don't know. Someone told me babies are really hairy, and I'm like, really? I don't know. We got about 10 minutes left for today, so I guess if you have any last thoughts to wrap it up, now would be a good time for them. Take it, Lauren.
Well, last thoughts, 9/11 conspiracy. It's not true. It was just a horrible, well, I guess it was a
part of it.
conspiracy. It was a conspiracy by bad guys, and they did it, but it's not the government, and chill, people. Move on. There was lots of Canadians in those towers as well, so it wasn't us. That's all I got to say.
Besides with
Clearly
South Park,
the
does
reference.
Canada actually ever get blamed for anything?
No.
You friendly motherfuckers.
Fucking Canada, man.
Yeah, well,
Maple syrup, beavers, hockey, ice. What else you got?
you guys, more Americans watch hockey than Canadians.
I don't watch hockey. Oh well.
Well, where are you located again? You said,
Upstate New York. I'm about 3 hours south of Montreal.
isn't there like 14 NHL teams in New York State?
I don't know.
I used to watch hockey religiously. I've kind of fallen off on that in the last few years.
Gretzky, let me forgive you.
So,
I don't watch it much anymore either.
So, Mike and Mike, any final thoughts for today?
Well, first of all, go ahead.
Flip a coin.
I'm going to say first of all, I'm in Chicago, where our hockey team's in the playoffs still. I think that's all I've been seeing on TV is hockey. And actually, they're playing Detroit, and I'm working there, so I'm up to my ears in hockey. So, and I have no other thoughts other than come on, people. Use a little critical thinking here on this 9/11 stuff, or anything that sounds like a conspiracy.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much it.
Mike, before you finish up, do you want to just repeat your big announcement, the new podcast?
Yeah, I'm actually a guest host of the Bitch Spot Report. I'm stretching my talents a little bit. I'm going to be a co-host it's an atheist it's almost like a calmer cognitive dissonance type show.
It's not hard, actually.
Yeah.
How many shows now are you a host of? I think it's pretty safe to say, if we can call this a show, co-host of the Hangout. You've been in all of them so far, I think. So.
Well, if you want to call it, yeah, then it's like I'll say two. I got my own show, and then I'm co-host on one, which is I'll count as half, and this one is half. So I'm doing two shows now.
And we had 3 viewers today, Mister. 3 whole viewers.
Nice.
Hey, that's 3 viewers that someone else didn't get.
So what I'm hoping is, this is a little less awkward than our first one was, and as we go on, it'll get better. So maybe we can get people in our community to start watching it. That'd be great. So, that's my hope. So, Mike, you got in kind of late. You have to join us next time and say more. But last thoughts for today?
Keep an eye on the skies for chemtrails. Watch out for reptoids. You want to suck the fluids out of your bodies and replace them with fluoride. Keep your organ energy charged.
And HARP.
Fluids.
And HARP.
Here in Oklahoma, since I am in Oklahoma City, I know all about HARP and those tornadoes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Actually, I was when was that the day before the really big one? The Sunday before we had a tornado here in Edmond, and I was on a call with Mike Bowler. We ended up going to Skype because Hangout was just all kinds of fucked up. But I actually had to stop the call for a few minutes because the tornado was about a mile east of me, and I had to go watch the weather and make sure exactly where it was and where it was headed. My last thoughts for the day pretty much parrot everything you guys have said, and I would just say, when you're presented with a conspiracy theory, to take the simple approach first. Does this make sense? Why would this happen the way it does? What might make more sense? Or, what's the simpler answer, and why is the simple answer not true?
Occam's razor.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to cut this off then, and we'll try and do this again next week at the same time, I think. So if you're all in, we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good.